on J360 Radio with your hosts, Alan, Dev, and Mark. Alan has entered the Cyclone.
It's me and Mark tonight. Mark, say hi.
Hey. Is that good? There, I said
There
hi.
you go. It's nice to know that you had your extra surge today. So we apologize for not doing NFL picks last week. We were sick for all two people who watch us. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, you two rock. You keep my life going.
So Jay is unfortunately not with us again. Unfortunately, he did make he actually did a vacation in Jurassic Park, and we haven't heard from him since. Mark has a theory that he became the king of the dinosaurs, or Jay actually became a heavyweight boxer fighting the Raptors. I don't know. Something's going on. Hopefully we hear from him soon. Anyways, so let's start with the NFL news. Yeah, Dez Bryant signed with the Saints. Your opinion?
My opinion is it can go one of two ways. He's either just going to suck, or he's going to help the Saints win another Super Bowl.
You actually think the Saints are going to go to the Super Bowl?
You don't think they have a chance? You don't think that the Saints have a chance to get to the Super Bowl and win it? You telling me that?
No, I think they do, but I don't. I just want to say, was that your prediction for the Super Bowl, though?
I feel like they could have done it without Dez Bryant. I don't know how I feel about Dez Bryant. To be completely honest with you, like I said, this is big news, but Dez Bryant's character is flawed, and that's the problem. You bring him into the Saints, and you got to hope that, him admiring, hopefully, I would assume he would admire Drew Brees, one of the best, not the best, but one of the best quarterbacks of all time, would maybe put him in his place. I don't know. But I guess that's my point. Either he's going to bring the team down, or he's going to give him that extra step, or maybe he'll just be, just an afterthought in a couple of weeks, and you're like, oh, I forgot they signed him. I mean, we'll see.
It could be a Josh Gordon thing with the Patriots when they traded for him, or it's going to be like Kenny Britt when the Browns signed him.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hit or miss. And the thing that concerns me the most is that Ryan has not been with an NFL team in 9 weeks, and he has to learn a new offense in this time.
Yep. So he might not even be a factor this year. But,
it's only a 1-year deal.
Yeah. So does it make a lot of sense? Not really. But I'm sure they have their reasons. I mean, I'm sure Saints fans were probably excited about it, which is good. I mean, to be honest with you, if he would have signed with the Eagles, I, oddly enough, probably would have been excited about that too. It would have, felt like it meant something. But I don't know if it actually does. So
I legit wonder, though, was that the reason the Browns traded Josh Gordon? Because they thought for a fact that they were going to get Dez Bryant, and Dez Bryant backed out?
That's a good thought. I know they did pursue him, but the thing is, I knew Dez Bryant wasn't going to go there. I would assume they knew that too. I think with the Browns trading Josh Gordon, I think it goes well beyond the Dez Bryant thing. They gave him a lot of chances. I don't really understand why they would trade him now of all time. Well, not now, obviously, but earlier this season. Instead of any other time they could have. Maybe they felt they were going to get a good return for him. And I don't know.
I would have let him run out of his contract or just put him on the bench and just let him go. Anything was better than a 5th-round pick. That's nothing. It was kind of like that episode of South Park. You remember when Canada was doing a strike and everything, and in the end they got free meal for a free meal at places or something? Do you remember that when Canada went on strike on South Park?
I don't remember that.
And they held out. I don't know. It was really stupid, but it was funny. But what other news do we have here? Well, it looks like the Browns are still doing their coaching search. So Greg Williams obviously probably is not going to be back with Cleveland next year. I I don't know. I heard Arians wants to throw his name into the pot, but I don't think he's going to come out of retirement. He has a cushy job being an NFL commentator right now, so why would he? And, you don't want to do a John Gruden thing again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plus, he's like, isn't he in his 60s? I don't know. I don't know. I like Arians. I'm a huge fan, but I can't see that happening. Yeah,
I mean, Arians, here's the thing, man. Here's the thing with sports media. There's always a lot of shit you hear. They get you hyped up for something, and it ends up just being bull. You get so hyped up about stupid things because one little thing is said and it's spread throughout the media, and them saying, oh my gosh, this is going to happen, this is going to happen. I mean, think about how many players they said were going to go to different teams. I mean, think about, even from my perspective, listening to all the players they said were going to go to the Eagles. They said, we're going to get Patrick Peterson. We're going to get Le'Veon Bell. We're going to get, what's his name, Matthias. Who else was there? There was just a whole load of them. Oh, Amari Cooper, who ended up going to the Cowboys. I mean, you hear these things. You hear these rumors throughout the season, throughout the off season, But the truth is, all these things are really just a way to get you hyped up and to think something's going to happen. It may or may not happen. And the thing that I've realized about a lot of stories is the more hype you hear about them, usually the more BS there is to it. I don't think Arians is coming out of retirement for the Browns. He probably was saying it as a joke, to be honest with you.
Something else that's my favorite thing. So Hugh Jackson has been interviewed over the last week. And he said, if it was me, I would have drafted Patrick Mahomes. Dude, this guy is so full of crap.
He also said he would have drafted Carson Wentz.
And Deshaun Watson.
Yeah. I mean, looking at hindsight, I'd say I would have drafted all three of them too, man. I mean, shoot. I mean, Carson Wentz is a beast. Watson's a beast. And Mahomes is a beast. I mean, right now they're looking like the future of the NFL. And golf, I mean, shoot. Mahomes is blowing me away. Dude's freaking sick, but yeah, Hugh Jackson's blowing a lot of smoke. I mean, at some point, if you're going to keep your coach on, you're going to listen to what the heck they're telling you to draft, right?
It doesn't make any sense to me. Okay, so he's doing this, but didn't this guy want to trade a second and third for A.J. McCarron? Didn't this guy literally draft, what was his name? Cody Kessler, and he's like, trust me, this guy's a winner, We already knew the jury was out on Darnold. I remember we were talking about this earlier in a Cyclone episode. And I said he's a bust. He's going to be he's USC. He's not that good. You knew it. I knew it. There was nothing to be said about that. But of course, I could have said, "Oh man, the Browns should have went with Carson Wentz." Oh, the Browns should. Dude, stop trying to say that you were justified for it. No, you didn't. And the thing is, you're the head coach. You let that happen. He let that happen. Yeah, I know the GM does his job, but the thing is, the GM is supposed to communicate with the head coach. Yeah. And then he says, yes, he would ask you to say, well, we needed Myles Garrett. So what are you trying to say here? Did you want Garrett or did you want Mahomes? What do you want here? He was so full of crap in that interview. You got to watch that Undisputed, by the way. It was really bad. I think that's pretty much. Oh wait, one more thing. People are saying Jason Garrett's on the hot seat. I don't think so.
I haven't heard that because everybody knows that's not true. He's Jerry Jones' puppet, man. The chance that Jerry Jones is going to give up that control is very slim. He has no reason to fire Jason Garrett other than Jason Garrett being a bad coach. See, here's the thing. Jerry Jones cares about having control over everything. He doesn't care if he thinks he can win football games and tell his coach, how to win, who to play, and all that. But that's the reason why the Cowboys suck so bad. I mean, nobody's shocked that the Cowboys just lost that game.
No. They actually thought Amari Cooper was going to be a difference maker in his first week. You got to be out of your mind, right?
Well, I don't know, man. I think Golden Tate's going to be a factor.
I think Old Tape will be a factor because he's an explosive receiver. Amari Cooper has not been good in like 2 years.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because there was a lot of hope for Amari Cooper. I really felt like him coming out of the draft, he was going to be one of those receivers that ended up like an AJ Green or Antonio Brown. That's not the case, though. He's got the skill set, but sometimes it takes more than skill. Actually, not sometimes. It always takes more than just skill. And he kind of had the opportunity to just kind of sit back and be like, whatever. I'm not saying he's doing that, but I'm also saying, he comes out. He probably had a big head coming out thinking, I'm a Cowboy now. I'm going to really come out and kill it. Well, guess what? You can't kill it if the QB sucks.
Thank you for admitting that. Thank you. Yes, Dak Prescott is not as good as everyone makes him out to be. I didn't really – don't get me wrong. He played good in his rookie year, but when everyone figured him out, he's been mediocre at best.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't a good quarterback, but he had a good line. And that's the thing. Think about it this way. It's like they say, it all starts in the trenches. If you can get to the quarterback, if you can get to Tom Brady, he ain't having a good game, right? So you got to have a good offensive line to keep your quarterback up straight and open up holes for your running back. You don't got that, you don't got nothing. You have nothing. But then it goes down to your skill positions. If your quarterback's got the time but can't throw the ball accurately or with enough power to really make a difference, they're just dinking and dunking, they ain't going to get you nothing either. But if your receivers can't get open and they can't catch the ball, well, then your quarterback ain't got nobody to throw it to. Think about this. This is how it all plays in. People forget how important these different things are. And the thing is, with Amari Cooper, he's not blowing the top off of defenses. And Dak Prescott isn't the quarterback everybody thought he was because the line isn't as strong as it was his rookie year. And then they realized, once Elliott was out and they realized, oh, man, he's really not good without a run game, that just killed it all for him right there, man. I mean, that suspension for Elliott was huge. I mean,
yes, and not only that, and also they would not blame Dak Prescott. They blamed it all on Dez Bryant because it was Dez Bryant's fault. Yes, of course. No, it wasn't.
His attitude did have some, something to do with.
Every wide receiver has an attitude. Chad Ochocinco, Terrell Owens, Randy Moss. Oh my God, none of those guys ever won a Super Bowl though.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Think about that. They were good receivers. They had skill. heck, Randy Moss even, had an undefeated season with the Patriots, but he did not win a Super Bowl.
It was stupid that they traded him to begin with. I don't know why they traded him.
Who, Moss?
Yeah. Was he just done? I don't know what happened. I know Moss was getting a little vocal in New England, but
no, he was done. I thought he retired and came back.
Yeah, he did. He went to the 49ers, remember?
That's right. He was on the 49ers, Texans, and then
he was on the Texans.
Huh?
He was on the Texans. He went to the Tennessee Titans.
Oh, did I say Texans?
Yeah, you said Texans.
No, I meant Titans. I'm sorry.
All right. I think that's all the news we need to really cover for NFL news this week. Is there anything that you think that we should talk about?
Let's get to the games.
Let's go to the games here. Okay, so week 9. The first game. Oh, dear Lord. We had the Oakland Raiders traveling to San Francisco 49ers, and the 49ers destroyed them 34-3.
With a third-string quarterback. How about that? The thing about this game is I really couldn't tell you if this kid's really that good or if the Raiders are just really that bad. I mean, we can't – if you're a 49ers fan, don't get your hopes up for this week because this game against the Raiders really doesn't tell you much. Yeah, the kid did great, looked great, but you're playing a team that's a one-win team for a reason. They barely got that win against – I forget who they won against now. Did they win against the Browns?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was rigged, though. Like, there was a lot of bad officiating calls. Yeah, so they snuck out that one. I have a question. Are the Raiders really that bad, or are they intentionally tanking?
I don't know. And the reason I say that is because I really believed, and I told you this, I mean, I really shot myself in the foot with this. I really believe when John Gruden took over that he would have had this plan in his head. You know, he's been seeing all these teams and how everything's running for years, getting this look every game to kind of get this inside perspective. I'm thinking, oh, he's going to come out. He's seeing plays from this team and this team and this team. Man, he's going to have some tricks up his sleeve. And he comes out and it's just like, what the hell are you doing? You know, what are you doing? What is it? Well, first off, why do you trade your best pass rusher, maybe the best pass rusher in the league, for a first-round draft choice? It's not like the guy was old. It's not like he's almost 30. He was young, you know what I mean? Like, there's no
Amari
second
Cooper's only 24, and they traded him.
Yeah, but Amari Cooper, look, the Amari Cooper trade in comparison to the Khalil Mack trade is nothing. That's like,
Made the Bears competitive, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I mean, dude, that's like trading Amari Cooper is like trading Jordan Matthews, man.
It'd be like the Packers in like 97, they just randomly trade Reggie White.
Yeah, let's not talk about Reggie White leaving teams.
Oh my God, I forgot you're an Eagles fan.
All right, but anyway, about this game, the 49ers, congratulations. You looked good against the Raiders. Now do it again this week.
They won't. Oh, God, I don't want to talk about this game. I don't want to talk about this game. So the Chicago Bears travel to the Buffalo Bills, and we were humiliated 41-9, and I did not watch this game, shockingly, because the second I found out Nathan Peterman was starting, I did not watch because I knew the results. Thoughts?
Well, Peterman's not a quarterback. I think we could say that at this point. You know, it's funny. So many people hated on Tebow, saying he wasn't a quarterback, he couldn't play in this league. Tebow plays better than this guy. Why is this guy even on the team? There are so many options out there. You want to talk about a team tanking. I hope to God that's what the Bills are doing right now, because this is just utterly ridiculous. To start this quarterback,
in Peterman's defense, though, two of the picks were not his fault.
I don't care. I'm talking about, look at this guy. You as a Bills fan, I'm sure know this firsthand, but look at this guy's career stats, man. Just look at.
I know. I've talked all over the Buffalo Bill forums about it.
His career stats. He's got a 32.5 rating. He's got 3 touchdowns and 12 interceptions with a 52.3% completion percentage and only 548 yards. Think about this. 3 touchdowns and 12 interceptions.
He is making Jimmy Clausen look good. Remember Jimmy Clausen?
He's making every terrible quarterback in NFL history look good right now.
Well, other than Ryan Leaf.
All right. Yeah, Ryan
and Heath Schuler. Other than those, yeah, he's one of the worst. I don't get why they're giving him chance after chance. They traded A.J. McCarron because they believed in Nathan Peterman.
Well, you know what that tells me?
What?
If you really believe that, if you're Sean McDermott and you really believe that, then you shouldn't be a head coach in the NFL. You shouldn't finish this season. You want to talk about a head coach that should be fired in the middle of the season? That's a head coach right there that should be fired in the middle of the season to spare the fans the rest of the BS. My point is, Sean McDermott should not be a head coach. Go be a defensive coordinator. Let somebody else take the reins on this. It's terrible. If you really honestly believe that Nathan Peterman was a better choice than A.J. McCarron, you do not know anything. You know nothing about being a head coach in football. I'm sorry. That's my honest opinion.
Well, the other problem, too, is the way they handled the quarterback situation in Buffalo this year was complete. The head coach should be fired immediately for the way they handled that. Okay, they didn't want Josh Allen to start, and you started a second-year quarterback in the first year through 5 interceptions in one half. And you traded off A.J. McCarron for no reason. And then you finally bring in Derek Anderson week 6. Why didn't you just sign Derek Anderson in the first place if that was the guy you wanted? What the heck? Very bad, very, very, very bad coaching for this team. And it's showing so bad. And it's showing to me for this Bills and Bears game that the Bills are just giving up on this. The team is giving up on this coach, which is a shame because last year they went to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go to the second game. We had Tampa Bay going to the Panthers. The Buccaneers have no defense. Fitzpatrick did all he could, and he's going to throw some interceptions. It is what it is. The Buccaneers have no defense, so the Panthers were able to kill them. So that's all I see on it. What about you?
I think the Panthers are finally being the Panthers. This is how they should have been playing. I honestly see, since they won that Eagles game, it was like they got a shot in the arm, like a boost, because since then they've been playing exactly how they should be playing. I mean, the Panthers are on fire right now because the Panthers are actually playing to their skill set. I mean, Cam Newton, he's got so much, skill-wise, where I'm not shocked by a win like this. And then you got Christian McCaffrey. I mean, the guy is really coming out of his shell. I mean, he looked good before, but this was a good game for him. I think the rest of the season should be really interesting to watch for the Panthers. I'm going to keep an eye on them. I could see them in the playoffs.
It's a possibility. I mean, Cam Newton, maybe now Cam Newton is not going to be like the diva that he was and actually is trying to finally get the team to the promised land. Let's move on. We're going to go to the Kansas City Chiefs. Why are all my teams always the first 3 picks on recaps? So the Kansas City Chiefs go to the Cleveland Browns and lose 37-21. And this game, probably the Chiefs could have scored 60 points on the Browns because, gotta say this, it was, Greg Williams only had 6 days to prepare this after the firing of Hugh Jackson. It was what it was, It's disappointing, but it is what it is. Your thoughts?
I mean, I think it's big in this game for the Browns to have scored 3 touchdowns. I mean, the Chiefs look great, man. It's great to watch the Chiefs this year. And I think any team that plays them, you got to really hope for that win. I'm really hoping that they beat out New England and get into the Super Bowl. I mean, good to watch them. I mean, they got a lot of skill players. They got Mahomes, who's looking just unbelievably good. But I think if you're a Browns fan, I don't think you should get discouraged by this. You're playing a great team, and you put up 21 points, and you held them under 40 points. I know that typically for most games, oh, wow, you held them under 40. That's quite an accomplishment. Well, this Chiefs team could have easily scored, like you said, 60 points, but they didn't. So it was a loss, but considering, I wouldn't label this as a loss for the Browns.
I think it's same by, well, first off, we need our wide receivers to get better, and secondly, we should sign some more wide receivers. We got to get some better things up there because there was a lot of drop balls in that Browns game.
Yeah.
That was the game I watched. Okay, but let's move on. We got the New York Jets versus the Dolphins. Jets fell short, 6-13. Darnold was absolutely horrendous in this game. Did Tannehill even start this game, or was it
Osweiler? It was Osweiler.
Osweiler is just making the money rain.
This is two fluky teams going against each other. Neither one of them are going to get to the playoffs. It was really could have went either way. I mean, it was almost like a flip of the coin. Neither one of them is consistent, unless you want to say they're consistent at not being consistent in the win column. So, I mean, they could have went either way. The Dolphins just had a few more plays go their way, really. That's all I really have to say about this one. That's just, unless it's teams that I really see as potential contenders, I'm not going to waste my time analyzing it.
What, you're trying to tell me that Osweiler cannot lead the Dolphins to a Super Bowl berth?
I'm trying to tell you, if that's what you think's going to happen, something's wrong with you.
Man, if that was going to be the case, I'd probably be fired from the show. Anyways, let's move on. All right. We had the Steelers go to the Ravens, and Steelers went 23-6. Where did the Ravens go from here? Where do you think they go with Joe Flacco? Because he has been mediocre for the last 3 years.
I think if you look at it this way, it's been rough for the Ravens for a few seasons now. It's usually like that after you win a Super Bowl. You start going downhill. Unfortunately, that's where the Ravens went. Joe Flacco, I've never saw him as an elite quarterback. He has the big arm, but yeah, he won a Super Bowl. But you know what? You know who else won a Super Bowl who was a backup? Nick Foles. I like Nick Foles, but would I put him as elite? Probably not. Joe Flacco is not elite, but I think they're very loyal to him. I think that's the reason why he's still their starter. And I also think there's probably some turmoil there with them continually bringing in Lamar Jackson for this Wildcat stuff. The Wildcat seems to be the formation to get you to lose your job. This is once you start getting into Wildcat, it starts seeming like you're getting a little desperate.
Oh, man, that was, what was that, Tony Sparnano or whatever, who passed away? He was a Dolphins coach, and he used Chad Pennington, and he was using Ronnie Brown for the Wildcat. That's how it first started. I still can't believe this was a thing because everybody figured it out.
Yeah, I remember. It was, at first, it was pretty good, man. As a matter of fact, I remember they had a lot of success with it. Didn't they get into the playoffs that year?
Yeah, that was the year they got in the playoffs, and that's what got Eric Mangini fired because they let go of Chad Pennington, who led the Dolphins to the playoffs that year. You know, because he ran the Wildcat. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm seeing this. There's this shirt Chris Maragos was wearing. It's a picture of Carson Wentz and Nick Foles, and they're in these sweater vests with the button-ups underneath, and Nick Foles is, I guess supposed to be, sitting down, and Carson Wentz has his hands on his shoulder. Oh, man, that's awesome. I got to find that for you. But,
it's the greatest romance that ever lived.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that is what I like to see. When you have players on your team that are supporting you and wanting you to do well, even if you're in that same position, then you can succeed. And that's where you see the damage going on with something like this. If Joe Flacco took his pride out of the picture and tried to help the younger quarterback succeed, they might be playing a little bit better. You got to have that team chemistry. This is a team sport. It's not a one-person sport.
That's how Cam Newton got so successful because, remember, they signed Derek Anderson. Anderson was a mentor to Cam Newton. Remember that?
Yeah.
They were like best friends.
Yeah, and that's what you need, man. Sometimes I guess it doesn't work out, when the younger quarterback doesn't want to listen. I think I thought that Leinart and Warner had that, but I get the feeling Leinart didn't listen too much to Warner. Anyway, let's get into the Vikings game, and boy, are the Lions already missing Golden Tate. What, did he get sacked 10 times? Whew. The Vikings are a decent team. When you get sacked 10 times, that's telling you something.
The Lions team has no O-line whatsoever. It's like Swiss cheese. You can just go through the holes. Yeah, this team is not making playoffs. The Vikings might make a wild card spot.
Me might. What's their record right now?
I have no freaking clue. Aren't they like the same record as the Packers, or maybe one win better?
They have the same record as the Bears, so they're tied for first, 5-3. The Vikings, though, if I had to pick one over the other, I'd probably pick the Bears over the Vikings. But that's still a pretty tough division. I mean, you can't really count the Packers out yet. The Packers remind me of the Patriots in a sense. Is when the Patriots start out and it looks like they're having a bad season, the fans don't worry about it because they know that they're going to come back and they're going to do what they're doing right now. When they started the season, there was some chatter that, they weren't going to.
There's a difference. Okay, sometimes the Patriots start 1-3, right? And that's when, they start coming back. The Packers right now, what are they, 3-5?
No, they're 3-4.
3-4-1.
3-4-1, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the thing. Like, and anybody who watched a Packer game, you can see Packers fans panic all the time. Trust me, I live in the state. I know what's going on.
You're right.
I was driving to the gas station today. I got to tell this weird story. Win, lose, or tie, I'll be a Packer fan until I die. I'm like, you guys only have 4 losses. I mean, you're not going 1-15. Dude, stop it. My gosh, it's like, oh my gosh, if Wisconsin doesn't get ranked in a college football game or something, they think the world is over. Don't get me wrong, I love football, but come on. I mean, oh my gosh, it's like if they lose one game, oh, it's over. We lost everything. Stop it. I mean, the Giants got in the playoffs at 9-7 and won the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Well, that's one thing that people forget about some coaches, though. Tom Coughlin got his team motivated through those playoffs. And Eli Manning, I don't know what it is about him. He gets into the postseason. It's just a totally different quarterback.
Not anymore.
Yeah. But anyway, I think we were talking about the Vikings and Lions. Yeah, the Vikings could probably make it to the playoffs. I don't see them going to the Super Bowl. Again, I'm not going to touch on Kirk Cousins' contract because you know how I feel about that. Let's talk about how good the Falcons did last week.
Was this a shock to anybody?
I think it was a shock to Redskins fans.
Wait, there are things as Redskins fans? That's news to me.
Yeah, there are. I know a few. They do exist.
Oh my gosh, did they stay in their house all day? Like, what do Redskins fans do?
They don't watch football.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, fair enough. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I think the Redskins are going to win the division because, well, I don't know. I think the Eagles are probably going to win it, but the Redskins are going to be up there. They're not a terrible team, and I like Alex Smith. Alex Smith is, like, one of the most underrated quarterbacks in the league.
I do like Alex Smith. I thought that was a nice pickup. I really felt like he was an upgrade over Kirk Cousins, and I think that's showing with the record so far this season. Although, that being said, I couldn't call who's going to be the winner of that division right now. It could go a lot of different ways. I want to see how the Eagles come out of the bye before making any kind of prediction on that because right now, the way that they've been really fluky themselves. So at least the Redskins have been pretty consistent. They've only got 3 losses, so I wouldn't count them out until you really – Now, I will say the Falcons did a pretty good job in this game of executing exactly how they wanted to. I would say this is more of a Falcons win than a Redskins loss, although there was some ugly plays there. But you know what?
I still don't believe in the Falcons, though. I don't believe that they're going to make it past the first round of the playoffs. I just don't.
I don't know if they're going to make it into the playoffs.
Well, no, not with the Saints.
No, I mean – they still have the Saints and the Panthers ahead of them in their division. If they do make it, it's not going to be from winning the division. They'd have to get a wild card, and there's a lot of teams that are.
But when the Saints or the Panthers get the wild card?
Well, one of them would probably be the Panthers, and the Saints would get the division.
Yeah, I just don't. I'm sorry. Like, the Falcons, they struggled too early out of the gates, and it's going to take a lot for them to come back from this one. They shouldn't have stumbled at the gate.
Yeah, I wouldn't say they're going to make it to the playoffs. If they do, then good for them. I don't see them getting to the Super Bowl, that's for sure. But how about the Texans and the Broncos?
All right, let's talk about that game. This was a game, I think I picked the Texans. I picked the Texans on Yahoo on this one. The thing is, it's not Keenum's fault. I don't know what's going on with the Broncos O-line, but it's falling apart. And not only that, Keenum is going back to doing bad decisions. And yeah, well, I know one thing. The Broncos for sure will not make the playoffs. I don't think so. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't see how the Broncos could get in at this point. The Texans have a pretty good shot of getting in. What is the Broncos' record?
I do not know. I could look. Aren't they like 3-5 or something like that?
Yeah, it's not good. Now they weren't. Their record wasn't terrible, but
they're 3-6. Yeah, no, they're done.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. It's worse than I thought.
I mean, unless we win 8 games straight and get in the play. Like, dude, you're not going to get in the playoff. Well, you never know. Remember the Seahawks? They won at 7-9. But yeah. But no, like, I mean, even for their division's sake, the Chiefs are 8-1. It's like pretty much over.
Yeah, they're done because they're not going to be making it to the playoffs by winning the division. I can tell you that, and I don't think they're going to have enough to get a wild card. I mean, I think if they lose one more game, they're like it's pretty much a cement for them. But the Texans are looking pretty good. They're finally playing the way they should have been playing from the start. So
surprisingly, I do not believe in the Texans yet.
Have you watched the Texans?
Yes, they do good fundamental football, but there's just something I don't believe about Watson. And not only that, they're in such a weak division right now. Like, what you think? Like, you actually think like they are a mediocre team. Do you think that like it's not like the Colts are going to beat them or the Jaguars or the Titans? The Titans, like, I don't know what is going on with the Titans. I don't get it. They should be a playoff ready team. They should be.
No, see, your feeling on the Texans is probably my feeling on the Titans. The Titans, I just don't see them as being a playoff team. I think they need a lot more pieces. Also, don't see anything really popping out when I see them play.
When you invest a number 2 pick on a quarterback, you better be sure you have to be a playoff ready team.
Yeah, but, well, they're not.
There we go.
The Texans, though, I do. When I watch them play, when I've seen their games, I see a lot that pops out that's really good. They got a lot of good players, and they really do put on a pretty good show. And watching Hopkins is just – it's like watching Mahomes, you know? Like, it's just – I love seeing those two play. So, yeah, it's to me, I definitely see them getting to the playoffs. I don't know if I would predict them getting to a Super Bowl, but definitely the playoffs.
Okay, so let's move on. And yeah, like we'll see what happens to the Texans. I just have this strange feeling they're going to fall apart, but we'll see. But then we had the Los Angeles Chargers. Oh, I actually got it right this time. You know, going to Seahawks and winning 25-17. This game did not shock me. The Seahawks are shelled themselves, and Los Angeles is really on like, you know, the up right now. They really are. Drew Brees is playing lights out. It's, you know, I think the Chargers are going to do well this year, and they're going to make some noise this year.
Did you just say what I think you just said?
What?
Did you just say that Drew Brees is playing lights out? Because Drew Brees ain't on the Chargers anymore.
Oh, my gosh. I'm sorry, Phillip Rivers. Oh, my gosh. Sorry, I was playing NFL 2K5 today. Okay? All right, give me a break. A-hole. Oh, my gosh.
But no, the Chargers are playing pretty well. And you're right, though. The Drew Brees is playing lights out, but just not.
Oh, yeah, he is. I know Phillip Rivers is playing well, too.
Yeah, they are looking good. It's nice to see the Chargers playing, you know, as well as they are. It's been a long time.
I just knocked down the entire domino track. That's awesome.
Is that your fake laugh trap or clap track?
Dude, yes, we'll make that my laugh track forever. Jay should record that.
So
okay.
The Chargers are playing like the Chargers have been playing, you know. Enough said about that. I mean, the Seahawks been pretty mediocre this season, so no surprise with that win. So I guess we're going to probably see the Chargers back in the playoffs again. It looks like anyway at this point. So how about this next game? Because I really want to get to this game. This game was probably the biggest game of the week, and I'm so surprised that they didn't have this the late game. The Saints and the Rams, dude.
Oh, my gosh. I actually watched this game. It was incredible.
How beautiful was that to just see the Rams get their first loss? and to see a little bit of dysfunction there. Did you notice that? Did you watch the game?
I did watch the game. I watched the full game, actually.
Did you see a little bit of that that hostility in the Rams team? Them finally starting to act up a little bit.
They were starting that during the Packer game, though.
Were they? Well, there you go, man. There is a way to get to them. Because that's the thing, man. To win in this league, you could have all these skill players, but once some of them skill players start getting a big head about themselves and start getting upset, then they start putting things on other players and being like, oh, you messed up. Then it starts a problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, this is a very young Rams team, and it is. It's a very young Rams team. Like, I expected this to happen. I just hope this does not turn out for more losses, because the Rams and the Saints making deep in the playoffs is a good thing for the league. I hope they don't, like, combust. That's the thing I'm worried about.
Who doesn't combust?
I hope the Rams don't. Got no issues with them. They play hard. They play fundamental football. They're pretty good. I like their head coach. And they lost a tough one against the Saints.
All right, good point. I don't have an issue with them either. I think they're a good team. I like them, but the thing is, you say about combustion, and I hate to tell you this, my friend, but that's what just might happen.
I certainly hope not. I don't hope not, because who are you going to cheer for if the Rams combust in the divisional round? What are we going to cheer for, like the Texans? I mean, even though they're AFC. Who are we going to cheer for? Like, if the Packers somehow get in, I don't want to see another Packers Super Bowl. Man, Wisconsin people are going to stab me with pitchforks if I keep this up. Anyways, because I am from the state, and I turned on them, and I became a Cleveland and Buffalo fan. But yeah, I used to be a Packer fan. It was a good game. But here's the thing. We all knew the Rams didn't have a good defense. We all knew that going in. Other than Aaron Donald, who they have for defense? No.
They have Ndamukong Suh. They have cornerbacks. They got Peters and Aqib Talib. They got a lot of good players on defense too, man.
Okay, here's my problem, right? You have all that talent, right? And you're not utilizing it well. If this team does not make the Super Bowl, I'd fire the defensive coordinator right away. You know what I mean? They have a dominant defense. There is absolutely no reason why this team... But they just lost one game, and the Saints got the better of them. So it is what it is. It was a really good game. It was fun to watch. It was awesome. Was it not?
It was. It was.
And you know what? I'm glad they lost that game, because think about it. If you go into the season 16, do you know the expectations that you're going to have?
Oh, you mean like the Patriots did?
Yeah. And everybody wanted them to lose. Everybody, other than people in New England.
Yeah. Actually, no. I thought it would have been cool to see them go completely undefeated.
No, if you're 60-0 and something, every other team, every other fan of another team wanted the Patriots to lose so bad. Everybody was cheering for the Giants during that year. Yeah.
I wouldn't say I necessarily was. I really was interested in seeing who would win. I mean, I thought it'd be cool for the Patriots to go completely undefeated, but then I also thought it would be cool to see Eli Manning win a Super Bowl. So I was kind of torn. Anyway, are we on to this next game now? Are we going to the Patriots and the Packers? Or
yes, I watched this game too. Oof, this game was a doozy.
I felt bad for Aaron Rodgers in this game. That says a lot.
Same.
I mean, if I was him, I would be really frustrated. And I don't know, man, these last 2 weeks was just devastating. You're playing against these good teams, and you have this chance of winning both games. And stuff happens, resulting in you losing both. The one against the Rams was probably a lot worse, even though it was closer. But this one, it was just like you gotta get so frustrated playing the Patriots. It's just like Tom Brady, man, he just kills people.
Am I the only one that knew that the Packers season was not going to be that great this year? Like, okay, you have a first-year new GM, right? First-year new GM, first-year new defensive coordinator. This is a rebuild. They're saying it's not a rebuild, but it's a rebuild. I thought it was a little immature to trade Ty Montgomery like so fast. I thought that was a big flaw. The thing is, it's like, yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, you're wasting Aaron Rodgers' career. Yes, I understand that. But the thing is, they need to, like, Aaron Rodgers signed, like, what, a 5-6 year deal? Like, the thing is, you gotta give it time for the new GM to make this work. You can't just expect, like, this team was bad for years. And it was horrible. The Packers team has always been bad, but yeah, somehow they find a way to lump in the playoffs. And the only reason why they did was the division was so bad. Now the division is finally stepping up, and they had to get rid of Ted Thompson. I think Ted Thompson's still there, but advisor role. But we knew what was going on here. This is kind of a rebuild, but it's not.
Yeah. I mean, once they got rid of Jordy Nelson, you could kind of feel something wasn't going to be right about this team.
Trading Clinton Dix, though, was that one was a little puzzling to me.
That was a shocker. That seemed to me like you were giving away the season at that point, getting rid of Clinton Dix. Now, getting rid of Montgomery, I could definitely understand. Now,
but not for peanuts, though. But they gave him away for peanuts. Next year's 7th rounder?
Yeah, for a reason.
Yeah, because he blew that punt.
Huh?
Yeah, because he fumbled that punt return after they said take
No. It wasn't just because he fumbled it.
And he's injury prone.
No, it was because when you react the way he did to them telling him we're taking him out of the drive, for him to completely disobey what the coach told him to do. So he disobeys what the coach told him to do, ends up losing the game for him.
There was no reason for that. He went against the team. That's pretty terrible.
And maybe there was some things behind the scenes with Clinton Dix. I don't know. That could be it. Maybe not. I don't know.
People blaming McCarthy for all this. You got to be out of your freaking mind. I'm not blaming McCarthy for any of this. Okay, he coaches so maybe he's a better offensive coordinator than he is a head coach, but I don't blame him for any of it. Honestly, it's not like he mismanaged his timeout. So I'll give him that. I'll give the fans that. But other than that, though, he's not that terrible of a coach. You can hire way worse. You could hire Hugh Jackson to be your head coach, and the Packer fans can tell me how that feels. But yeah, that's all I got to say about the game. The Patriots were the better team. I mean, it's a frustrating loss, but I think the Packers could bounce back, and you can never count the Packers out. They can somehow get into the playoffs.
Yeah, that's good for that game. Why don't we talk?
I'm actually going to be very short about this game. The Titans were the better team. The Cowboys have they're trying to restructure desperately. That's the end of it.
The Cowboys think that they are the best team in the league. They believe that. Their fans believe that. But in reality, they're far from that. The Titans are really hit and miss. I don't believe in them. I don't feel like their quarterback is as good as people thought he was coming out. He reminds me of Robert Griffin. He reminds me of Colin Kaepernick.
Oh, Mariota?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't believe him either.
Because the thing is, it's tough when you bring, a running quarterback into the league and you're thinking, oh, they can run and they can throw. But there's a size thing there, and it's worked out for some. It worked out for Wentz and Watson and Cam Newton. But
Michael Vick had worked out for a lot. Remember, he went to 2 NFC championship games.
That's true. That is true. But Mariota's no Michael Vick.
No, not even close.
Yeah, he's never going to be. Sorry. That's how it is. That being said, I would say Mariota is very average. And I think that's why I placed him in the Kaepernicks and the Robert Griffins of the world. Because
actually, I would say Troy Smith.
I wouldn't go that far.
Come on. Troy Smith never even had a chance, man. Come on.
Yeah, you're right. He didn't. But I'm not saying Mariota is that far down there. You know what I mean? I think if you want him to be a great quarterback, you got to really teach him how to stand in the pocket more. In this game, it probably helped him more. But he needs to have that all-around feel. And right now, it seems like the best plays he makes are with his legs.
Maybe we could have Ken Wiesenhunt coach him. That could fix everything.
They already did.
Oh, my God, you're right.
He was the coach that drafted him.
Oh, my gosh. I remember how he ruined the Cardinals and Derek Anderson's career.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mariota did good things, and the Cowboys' defense is not as good as it used to be. The offensive line of the Cowboys is a shell of its former self. That's all there needs to be said about it. The Cowboys aren't making the playoffs. I'm sorry, Dallas fans, but you just need to accept it.
Yeah, I think this game you really got that look at just how the Cowboys would play against a good team and how they're really not going to come out on top of a lot of games here. I don't see the Cowboys make it to the playoffs. Sorry, Cowboys fans. You have to wait a little bit longer. Maybe you'll get lucky and you'll lose your coach and get a better one. I don't think that's going to happen. For right now, just accept the fact that there's no Super Bowl coming to you anytime soon. Sorry.
Hey, maybe the Browns will make a stupid trade and trade Baker Mayfield to the Cowboys for a 6th-round pick. You never know.
Well, you're right. You never know.
All right.
All right.
Let's do our predictions. All right. Yeah, AKA, I'm still mad at the Browns for – why the heck did they even keep Hugh Jackson for the year? We all knew they were going to fire him anyways. Everybody knew. I don't know. Horrible, right? Like, you hire a new GM, but he had to be stuck with this head coach? Does that make any sense to you?
No.
All right. I mean, don't get me wrong. I feel for Hugh Jackson. He went through a lot of stuff this year. You know, he lost his mom, he lost his brother, and so I feel bad for him. But you know what? There's this thing. You could take a leave of absence, and you could have had Haley, right? Todd Haley?
Yeah.
Have him be the head coach for the season while you're dealing with your grief. Or had Greg Williams run it. There were a lot of things that could have been done.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, let's go on for the picks. All right.
Jay has entered the cycle.
Hey, what's going on, J360 Legion? This is Jay, just stepping in for a few minutes. The other two can't hear me right now, but I want to let you all know this. These picks that are coming up, they're a bit late, so anything that comes out of this is now void, but you can also listen and hold it to them because some of the hilarity of their picks for this past week don't make any sense. Anyway, I'll see you all next time, all right? Back to the show.
All right. So, we apologize again for last week for not doing the picks. We were sick for the week. So let's start with the Carolina Panthers traveling the Pittsburgh Steelers. This was actually a very interesting game for me. What do you have on this one?
Panthers and the Steelers?
Yeah.
Ooh. That is a good one right there. I think it's going to be a close game. I think Cam Newton's going to do just enough for them to beat the Steelers. So I'm going to go with the Panthers.
We go with the Panthers as well because I still don't believe in the Steelers team. Do you?
I really don't. The problem with the Steelers is they don't jump at me. So I just don't see them as – it's hard to pick them every week, although they always seem to pull out the win.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the next game. We got the New Orleans Saints traveling to the Bengals, and this would be the game that the Bengals would normally should lose, but for some reason I think the Bengals are going to win this game. So I'm picking the Bengals.
I feel you on that. You know, everything would tell you from the record to the players to everything that the Saints would win this game. And for that, I guess I should pick the Saints. But also because of that, I'm going to go with the Bengals because it's always been my luck that the team that I picked that seems like they should win ends up losing. So I'm going to go with Bengals.
All right, sounds good. Then we go to the Atlanta Falcons traveling to the Browns. And you know what? I actually think the Browns could pull this off, and I think the Browns are going to win this game because the Falcons' defense isn't that good. And the Browns' defense is actually pretty good. As long as the Browns' offense can stay on the field, I think the Browns are going to win this game.
I think you're wrong about the Falcons' defense. And I hate to tell you this, but I'm picking the Falcons. I just think that that's the smarter choice in this.
Yeah, I understand. Okay, so then we got the Detroit Lions traveling to – who are we kidding? The Bears are going to win this game.
Yeah, I think the Bears should win this game.
The Lions have no O-line, and Khalil Mack is going to kill them.
Khalil Mack, yeah. That's if he's playing.
I think he's healthy for this game.
All right, so, yeah, I'm going Bears.
Okay, and then the Cardinals versus the Chiefs. This would be a game that I would think the Cardinals could somehow win this game, but I don't believe in Josh Rosen, so I think the Chiefs are going to win this game easily.
I think that this game's going to be over by halftime.
So we have enough time to get some Subway sandwiches and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
go get some Subway sandwiches and visit Jared in jail with one of them.
Maybe donate money to charity while we're at it because the game's going to be over. Okay. You're picking the Chiefs.
No, yeah, I'm picking the Chiefs. I'm definitely picking the Chiefs.
I mean, I'm sorry. Like, dude, okay, we had to talk about something NFL news really fast. They cut Sam Bradford.
Yeah.
Why? Like, I mean, he would be a competent backup. You're paying him the money anyways.
No, I think there's like a thing in his contract where if he's active for like all the games or something like that, they have to pay him more. So I'll be honest with you. Some of these moves in the NFL are very questionable.
I don't even understand this move. Like, I'll be honest with you, man. Okay, the guy wasn't even injured, and they benched him for the rookie. Like, wasn't Darnold supposed to mentor the rookie? And then you cut him anyways.
You mean Bradford?
Yeah.
He was. I mean, here's the thing is, Wilkes is a new head coach. He doesn't actually know what he's doing.
It's an idiot.
He's learning. The problem is, I'm hoping he's learning, but he's making mistakes right off the bat. Rookie head coach mistakes. He thinks they're good ideas, but they're really bad ideas.
So it's like every single production of The Room.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, fair enough. Okay. Then we go to the Patriots versus Titans, and, well, you know.
Patriots.
Yeah, same. That's all we need to say. There's nothing more to be said. All right, so we got the Redskins going to the Buccaneers, and I don't even know who's the starting quarterback for the Buccaneers this week. Is it going to be Fitzpatrick or Winston?
It's going to be Fitzpatrick. I think he's going to be the starter for the rest of the season.
You know what? I'm actually picking the Buccaneers this game.
You know what? I am too.
I mean, seriously, Fitz didn't play that awful last week. Yeah, he threw 2 picks, but the thing, he's making the most what he has. So, yeah, I'm going to pick the Buccaneers. With all the, I don't know, but at the same time, that team is so dysfunctional right now because remember Deshaun Jackson just managed a trade, and I'm still going to pick Buccaneers. Oh, boy. Bills versus Jets. I don't even know who the starting quarterback's going to be for the Bills. If it's Peterman, I'm picking the Jets automatically. Wait, you know what? I'm picking the Jets because isn't Josh McCown starting?
I don't know.
Yes, Darnold's out. Darnold's out, so McCown is starting. I'm going to pick the Jets on this game. Sorry.
I'm going to pick the Bills.
If Peterman's starting?
I don't like Peterman, but
if Peterman is starting, the Jets are going to win that game. I'll bet you $15 on it.
No, I'm not playing that.
Okay.
I'm picking the Bills.
Oh, okay, fair enough. I turned against my own team for 1 week.
Good.
Stop it.
So it shows that you're growing up a little bit.
All right, fair enough. You're going to get a very bad Christmas card later. Anyways, we got the Jaguars going with the Colts. The Jaguars are falling apart so bad, but I still think they're better than the Colts, so I'm going to pick the Jaguars. What do you think?
Actually, I mean, they are, but, I mean, the Colts, I think they might be starting to kind of catch on to something here. So I'm going to actually go with the Colts for this game.
All right. Sounds good. And then the next game, we got the Los Angeles Chargers going to the Raiders. We know.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah, it's the Chargers. All right. Then we go to Seahawks driving to the Rams, and I think this is where the Rams are going to have their comeback game from their loss, and they're going to win this game easily. I'm picking the Rams on this game. What about you?
I am going to pick the Rams too.
All right, sounds good. And then we got the Dolphins at the Packers, and I don't know what quarterback is starting for the Dolphins. Is it going to be Tannehill? Is he still injured, or what's going on here?
All right. Well, look.
Or
I'll
Josh Allen.
Osweiler's starting for the Dolphins, but I would pick the Packers either way. It doesn't matter.
Oh, Packers are going to blow them out.
Yeah.
Then we get the Cowboys versus the Eagles. I am surprised. No, I don't like Dak Prescott, so I'm going to pick the Eagles on this game.
I feel like the Cowboys have been giving the Eagles some fits over the past few years. It's been close. That loss last year, the last week of the season, obviously the Eagles weren't playing. The Eagles are definitely by far the better team. And because of that, I'm going to pick the Eagles.
All right. Yeah. And then the last game, oh my God, this is definitely game of the week. We have the New York Giants versus the 49ers. I am surprisingly picking the New York Giants on this game. And the reason why I'm picking that is because this is, again, like, the 49ers are not that good, let's be honest. And they're probably all sold on this third-string quarterback. And the Giants probably are looked at the tape. I think the Giants are going to win this game.
I don't think so. I think the 49ers are going to take this one. I hear what you're saying. Makes a lot of sense. But they don't have enough tape on the guy if you want to make that argument.
I mean, is it
1 week of tape?
Isn't Richard Sherman injured?
I don't think so.
I don't know. You know what? I might switch it. You know, I'm going to switch. I'll pick 49ers. No, watch. I'm going to regret that next Monday, and I have to talk about it on the show. All right, so let's end this show. Thank you so much. And, Jay, I hope you survived the raptor attack.
It's been nice. You guys have a great night and a fantastic football season. Go Eagles! E-A-G-L-E! Yes, Eagles! Have a good night.
All right, have a good night, guys, and we'll see you next week.